What's up, y'all? It's me, Kiwan. I am back with another episode of The Best Man, the final chapter, season 1, episode 5, The Party. So, I'm sorry, before we start, you guys, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Please click on the notification bell to be notified on all videos that I post. Anyway, the episode starts on December 22nd. On 27th. And Jordan is on a date with Demetrius. We hear Michelle Indigocello. I think that's her last name, y'all. I don't want to butcher her name. I never heard anybody say her name. So Jordan is enjoying him. Um, he takes her back home. She doesn't kiss him. She wants to, but she doesn't. Um, and she looks on her table to see the invite to Shelby and Quentin's New Year's Eve party. In the next scene, Quentin and Shelby sitting down talking. He asks Shelby, does she think he's a sellout because she wants to sell a hotel? Shelby was like, no, I think you're doing boss move. I think what you're doing is great. So Shelby is really supportive of Quentin's decision when it comes to Spivey. I think she support Quentin hands down. Whatever it is that he wants to do, she'll support it. So in the next scene, we see Julian blowing off steam at the MMA place. But one of the trainers tell Merch he's a natural. And Merch was like, a natural? And so he tells Merch that it's time for him to start sparring with other fighters. Merch was like, huh? He said, I just really came here to practice and that's it. I just came to dance for y'all and that's it. I'm sorry. And in this moment, he tells Merch not to sell himself short. I know a fighter when I see one. So we just kind of go from there. In the next scene, we see Robin and Mia. They're walking. Y'all, Mia is so... I'm going to always say that Mia is just the cutest little girl. Oh, my God. So Robin and Mia are walking, and they see a homeless woman. She gives the homeless woman a sandwich, and Mia was like, oh, okay, don't we need that? And Robin, in that moment, teaches her a good lesson about giving and being selfless. She tells Mia they have more at home and that if they're always willing to help others, that they should. So I thought that was amazing, okay? So while they're walking, she's actually meeting Jaha at an old jazz club. He tells Robin that his cousin is the realtor, and can sell it to her for a cheaper price. So she can open up the restaurant. She was like, how did you know? She said, well, I overheard you talking about that. And, she was like, it will be good. So she thought about it. So she calls Harper. She sends him the video, gives him the contact information for the realtor, and ask her to call his cousin and say, hey, it's, let him know that that's Jaha's cousin. So Harper agrees to do it. He was like, can I do it after lunch? And Robin was like, yes. And so before she hangs up, she asked him what's going on with the thermostat, because at this point the thermostat is it's broken, and it is New York and it is winter. So in the next scene, we see Lance sitting down with LJ, and they're talking about football. LJ is slouched in his chair. He's just, has the hoodie on, but not only does he have the hoodie on, he has the hoodie on his head. He's just sitting there looking. He's not interested because he just told his dad that he's not interested in football. Once again, Lance isn't considering LJ's feelings. He's not even considering LJ's choices. It is very annoying that Lance is like this, but I guess he felt like if he keep on pushing LJ, will change his mind. So in the next scene, Robin's on the phone with Harper. He tells her that his flight is canceled. And she reminds him that the thermostat is broken again and that they are freezing in the house. Again, Harper is concerned about Harper. And that irritates me because Harper has always been self-serving. And I don't care what nobody is saying. When Lance called him a self-serving bastard in the original Best Man movie, he was right. Everything Harper does, he does for himself. He claims he considers other people, but ultimately Harper considers Harper. And anybody else, y'all may have a different take on it, but Harper has always been selfish to me. Harper has always been my least favorite character. Like, least favorite. Anyway, so Kennedy and LJ talks about his dad, talks about Lance. And in that moment, Kennedy is very supportive to LJ and says, maybe if you talk to your dad, he will understand. Quentin is on the phone and he can hear the music, let me see your walk, 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 walk. And so he goes downstairs. Well, prior to that, Kennedy had put makeup on, did a beat for LJ because LJ likes to wear makeup as well. And he's not flamboyant, but he loves to wear makeup and wigs and, all of the things. And so Quentin goes downstairs, like he going down there fussing, like, what the hell is going on, yada, yada, yada. And then he sees LJ. He see LJ dressed up and with makeup and a wig on. And in that moment, he was like, oh. So he was taken aback because this is when he finds out. Well, not in that moment, but he's taken aback with LJ. Like, oh, I know your dad. I know his dad don't know. So we see in the next, I'm sorry, y'all, I've just been spacing. Quentin actually calls Jordan, and then he calls Harper, but Harper has one bar on his phone, so he can't talk. So then he calls Murch, and so Jordan was like, I wouldn't call Murch because Murch can't keep a secret. So Murch overhears them or whatever. Everybody's on the phone. Even Shelby gets in on the call. She's like, how did you know? And Shelby was like, well, I could pick up cues. My makeup was missing. My wigs are missing, and I'm just listening in on a phone call. So, what's his name? Quentin was like, Harper, did you know that that LJ was non-binary? He did not say non-binary. He said something else. And so Harper was like, if you mean non-binary, no, I did not know. So apparently Jordan knew 2 months ago. Jordan feels like it is in everybody's best interest not to tell. Quentin was like, you should tell Lance. And Jordan was like, no, I'm not saying anything to Lance. LJ has to be the one to tell Lance, not us and not you. But Quentin feels like Jordan should tell him because she's the godmother. And she was like, as the godfather, we got to respect LJ's privacy. And so Harper texted and said, if Lance finds out, he's going to ship bricks. And Quentin responded and said, yeah, we know. And so Merch was like, "Yeah, I don't think we need to tell. It's not our place to tell him. And for the record, I can keep a secret," and cursed everybody out and hung up the phone. So now we're seeing a different Julie. He started to show up, and I wasn't mad about it. Anyway, Jordan tells them she has to go get out, hangs up the phone, and Demetrius comes over, and he cooks some food. He cooks food for her, and Jordan, they're sitting down eating and talking. Jordan has another migraine. Demetrius massages her hand, and he tells her to look at me, and he starts to massage her hand, and her migraine actually starts to go away. I want to say that's that what they call that reflexology or something. I've always wanted to try it, and I'm sure I will one day. Anyway, Demetrius asked Jordan about her New Year's Eve plans. She tells him, she's going by her girlfriend's house. She was like, Shelby. He was like, yeah, I know Shelby. She used to be a trip. And in that moment, I was like, Demetrius is a BAN, but I kind of peeped that when he first stepped on the scene, but I let him have it. Anyway, he actually wanted to take Jordan to Paris. He tells Jordan, I can read the room, and he said he doesn't want to chase her if she keeps outrunning him. And that's what Jordan is doing. She outruns every man. She did it to Brian. So she wants to commit, but she's not. She's literally not committing to anybody. So Lance is on Jasmine's IG page, and he mistakenly calls her on video. She immediately calls him right back, and they talk, catch up, and then he tells her about what's going on with him. Anyway, in the next scene, everybody, Candice and Merch are getting ready to head out to Shelby, and the kids are headed out to Shelby and Quentin's New Year's Eve party. And so Kelly was like, she just wants to stay home. She's not feeling it. And then Keisha decides she wants to stay home because being friends with Kennedy and LJ is a lot of pressure for her. And they check in on Keisha and ask, are you okay? Is your anxiety good? And Keisha reassures them that she's okay and that she's fine and that she can handle things. I guess. So in the next scene, Jaha brings Robin those heaters because, again, she called, the companies, and a lot of everybody's out due to holiday. And so he brings her by the heaters, and he asks her about the bid. And she says that we're working on that. Harper's going to call. We will definitely be buying it. So she reassures him that they're going to buy the restaurant. And he was like, okay. So he hugs her. After he gives her the heaters, he hugged her. I was like, oh, wow. Don't do that. And then he leaves, So everybody starts to arrive at Shelby and Quentin's house, and they have an all-adult buffet, okay? It's full of edibles of all sorts, chocolates, gummies, almond covered, walnut, whatever. It was all on the table, and it was all edibles. And Candace was like, I don't know. And Merch was like, come on. And he was like, man, F them kids, okay? They older, F them kids. And I was like, I'm here for it. Anyway, Quentin has punished Kennedy because she has 2 D's, and she won't be going to the Jingle Ball. Kennedy, again, is spoiled. And she was like, well, she didn't feel like she needed to do whatever work that was required of her to do because she wasn't feeling it. Girl, please. Anyway, LJ comes in and Quentin speaks to LJ. It's pretty awkward at this point. Um, and Quentin tells him if he talked to Lance. And LJ was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Quentin was like, okay, I see you. But Quentin tells him that he understands, and he tells him that um, Lance is hard on him because he loves him. No, Lance is hard on him because Lance is misogynistic. Lance is rooted in patriarchy. Lance doesn't believe in a lot of that stuff, okay? Lance is a caveman. Anyway, at this point, Merch and Lance are lit. And of course, Lance tells everybody that he's trying to get LJ back in football. And Candace starts crying like, why did he quit ball? I mean, they high as a kite. And so Merch tells Lance, you are a good father. And so he was like, is he quitting because, and before he could say something, Quentin was like, why are we talking about family? Let's party. We came here to party. You know, And Merch probably being sober, he probably would have been able to keep that secret. But because he was high as a kite, Anyway, Lance and Quentin are talking, and he tells Quentin about Jasmine. And Quentin tells Lance that Jasmine isn't engaged anymore. So, Jordan and Robin are talking, and Robin is asking where's Demetrius. And she was like, I'm not ready for everybody to meet him, yada, yada, yada. So basically, Robin was like, well, what if he was here to add to your life? And so she shares with them that Demetrius wanted to take her to Paris, but she blamed Shelby. And Shelby was like, I would have went to the Mile High Club and said, forget this party, okay? Girl, please. The way I would have went to Paris so fast. Anyway, it's just an excuse. It's an excuse. If you can't be with the one you with, she ain't trying to be with nobody else, okay? So LJ and Kennedy are talking, and Kennedy was like, I just hate that you can't post your picture and come out. And so LJ decides to post his picture on social media. He's tired of being in a closet, He said that he wants to tell his dad he's tired of his dad not knowing. But I feel like LJ did go about it the wrong way. No matter what your dad's response would have been, that wasn't the way. You should have had a conversation with him. And you should have had a conversation with him months ago. There is no way that everybody knows this except for your dad. But again, the way Lance comes off, it's hard for him to even talk to Lance. So in the next part, Jaha actually texts Robin about the bar being sold. And Robin is heartbroken. Lance is on the phone with Jasmine, wishing her a happy new year. Robin goes out on the balcony and she starts to cry. Lance is on the phone with Jasmine. He sees Robin on the balcony. He goes out and checks on her. And, he was like, are you okay? And she was like, no, what type of marriage is this? Harper is gone. I lost my restaurant. I asked him to do this. He wouldn't do that. He was just not supportive. And I think that Harper purposely did not do it because he didn't want Robin to have it. And it's just like, this lady support everything that he did. This lady stayed with you knowing you was getting ready to sleep with Jordan. Like, I wouldn't have, but hey. Anyway, Lance then tells Robin, I had to deal with some things with, of course I had to deal with the stuff with Harper, but He's a good man. No, he's not. No, he's not. Harper is selfish. I would like to say he is a good man, but he's not. Not to me. But that's just my take on it. So, um, what's her name? Shelby follows Kennedy on a social media site to kind of keep up with her to see what she's doing. And they see them dancing, but Shelby can't see without her glasses. So she takes the video, because it's on a social media site, she puts it on a TV. And so everybody's looking at the TV like, oh my God. Lance walks in from the balcony, and immediately Jordan was like, Shelby, turn that off. And he sees it. He goes downstairs. He see LJ, face full of makeup. I want to say he had the wig on his head as well. And he tells LJ that he needs to talk to him. So in this moment, Lance is peed off because he found out about LJ. So he told LJ, he said, explain, what is this? And LJ didn't say anything. He was like, you better start talking. And so he was like, are you gay? And so LJ was like, no, told him that he was non-binary. And he was like, what does that mean? And so he was like, sometimes I want to be a woman. Sometimes I want to be a man. I don't, sometimes I don't know. And in that moment, Lance is pissed. He not seeing nothing but what he want to see. He tells him to wash his face and let's go. I was like, wow. And Lance is frustrated. So Jordan and Demetrius makes it home to her house. And Robin walks into her house and she's feeling the woes of being alone. And y'all, this is where the episode ends. This was a lot. But overall, Harper is a selfish mother clucker. However, Robin doesn't really express how she feels to Harper. So you've always given him that space to be selfish. Why? I don't know. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.